Hey, book babes. I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Peyton.
And today we are reviewing the latest Allie Hazelwood book, Problematic Summer Romance.
Yes, so just with a cup of coffee as we dive between these paper sheets.
Let's do this.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hardcover podcast. We are getting into the thick of summer. Like, it is here. We are ready for our summer romance reads, and we are bringing you quite the spicy one.
Yes, this is Problematic Summer Romance by Allie Hazelwood. This is technically book 2. If you read Not in Love, it's not necessary, but it's there. It follows the story of Maya, 23, during the week of her brother's wedding, Eli and Rue, if you read book 1, when she is forced to spend the entire week with her problematic situationship, Connor Harkness, 38, after he unceremoniously dumped her 10 months prior. If you can call it dumping if you were never officially together. Connor certainly wouldn't, but Maya would.
This book is our first age gap romance.
Yes,
So
15-year age gap.
I will say I did read the Pretty Little Liar books growing up, and I was into that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, Peyton and I were Arya and Ezra girlies as kids.
Yes.
Like, unfortunately, we have been tainted that, like, I was never once like, oh my God, he's 15 years older than her. Gross. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, yes.
Yes.
So I was excited for this one. We're 23. So like the
Yeah.
self-insert here was perfect. He's 38, which like for a lot of times in the book, I was like, wait, what's the age gap? Wait, what is he? 38. Okay. Which did spook me out a little bit because I'm like, oh my boss is like that age. Like, but like
Yeah, I Googled it, and other 38-year-olds include Michael B. Jordan and Penn Badgley. So I was like, would I
I'm
feel
cool with that.
good about dating one of those
Yeah.
men? And the answer is yes. So
Yeah, especially like Penn has such a baby face, I feel like, that it's like I could you could have told me he was like 33 and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
clocks.
We're not going to get too much into this book. Obviously, by the blurb, we have some forced proximity in this book,
Mhm.
some tension, some funny moments, some spicy moments.
Beautiful setting of Sicily.
Yes. So, are we going to get into star ratings now?
I accidentally saw on Goodreads, literally making the outline for this episode, how different, opposed Peyton and I are in our views of this book, which is a lot of fun. So, Peyton, do you want to go first or second?
Well, second, because I gave this I gave this book 2 stars. I was like, yeah, this was not the Allie Hazelwood book for me. And as someone who like kind of loves an age gap romance, I just
Mhm.
felt like this one was annoying to read. Like I was annoyed. Like I've never been so like irritated at a male love interest. I'm like, I was like, shut the fuck up. Like shut up. And then Maya obviously is 23. And so like
Yeah.
and I understand the mind of a 23-year-old. So like anything cringy she does, like I'm like, all right. But like there were some things where I'm like, you know what? This is not the book. This is not the spice for me. Like this is not it. It reminded me a lot of how I felt when we 2 years ago we read a spicy Christmas book.
Oh my God.
And
Yes, the Legally Blonde spiff.
and that is kind of like by the end of this book, I was like, I cannot fathom giving this book 3 stars. I was in the car reading and I said to my fiance, I was like, wait, well, I'm gonna read this. What he said to her while smashing, and he's just like, oh, and I was like, yeah, it's not it. And I love a good spice scene. So, anyways, I love Allie Hazelwood. I love her writing. Speaking
Mhm.
of Christmases, we did read short stories
Yeah.
this past Christmas from a lot of different authors, and hers are always my favorite. I just feel like she has a really good tone in her writing, but this was not it. Maybe if I read book 1, I'd like it a little more, but no, 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 no.
And that's amazing because I gave this 5 stars.
That is insane.
Listen, I think that Ali Hazelwood is my favorite contemporary romance author. I love her books, and it's ridiculous. I don't know. I love how she does stream of consciousness. I was looking at other Goodreads reviews, and a lot of people hated Maya, our main character. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I was laughing along with her. She's definitely a character who's unlike me. She was a little bit more extroverted and bold in a way that I was like, that wouldn't be me, but it made sense with her. I also, I tweeted this as well, posted on threads. I pictured Maya and Connor the entire time as Sabrina Carpenter and Pedro Pascal
Oh
because of
my
the SNL
gosh.
skit.
That's yeah, well, that would have helped. I could not picture anyone.
And I think I did a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, honestly, like, if you were like, "This is giving Sabrina and Pedro vibes," I'd be like, "Oh, damn." But for me, I was like, I literally cannot picture these people, and they're annoying me, and so I was like, "Bleh." But honestly, like, that coulda yummed this up for sure.
Yeah, and I think Connor was supposed to be more giving Christian Grey from 50 Shades.
Oh,
The
definitely.
billionaire, the age, even like Pedro is like 20 years older than Connor. But like, I don't care. That was what was in my mind, and that was what was cooking. I do have to say, like, I thought the book was hot. I didn't care that they kept bringing up the age gap romance. I think that's like the biggest complaint. Either like you were like, yeah, whatever, or you're like, it grated on my nerves to the point where I couldn't stand the book anymore. To me, listen, I'm listening to it 2x or higher. I'm just having a good time. It's like 6 hours with the book once you're listening to it that
Oh, yeah.
quick.
Mhm.
And so, like, it all just kind of went wayside with me. The only complaint I have is actually what you talked about when we reviewed Deep End is that these men have an accent and
Yeah.
the narrator has an accent. And that was a little much for me. The narrator's Scottish accent, I'm sure it's amazing. He might be Scottish, like, props to you. And it wasn't just when he was talking, this was my first book with a dual narrator, especially one where the boy doesn't have a POV. Like, it's just this guy reading all of the boy dialogue, but he's not like in Fearless, I listened to that book and it's a dual narration, but there's like the girl chapters that's all read by the girl and then the boy chapter is read by the boy, whereas this was just like a boy talking when a boy talked. And it
Yeah.
was so weird when he was talking for her brother, like he was voicing Eli as well.
See,
I
yeah.
don't think Eli is supposed to have a Scottish accent, and it was weird.
It's interesting because there would be certain times I both listened and read the book. I just felt like sometimes it'd be like, "Wait, is this her brother talking, or is this Connor talking?" And the narrator, like, at a lower speed, it does change a little bit, but not that much. So,
Yeah.
I will say, because I listened to a lot of Deep End, hence why, like, I have the experience with the
Mhm.
dual narrators, I like it with a romance book. It makes it a lot more, like, interactive and fun. Just a little direction and, like, director's note here. Just, like, maybe we can just, like, give someone a crazy like, a more crazy voice, so then, like, at least in Deep End, he had such a Swedish accent that it was,
Mhm.
like, weird if, like, someone else had a Swedish accent,
Yeah.
or
They had
whatever
to
he
switch it
was.
up.
Yeah, and the accents, I hate saying this because I hate being like, "No, you need to sound American for me." Like, that's so insensitive and so rude, but I think that I don't know, I just think that, like, it just catches you off guard and you're like, "Whoa," especially if it's like a not like an English accent that, like, we're used to hearing and seeing. Uh,
Yeah, well, and because it's a
yeah,
book, it like, I feel like in
yeah.
TV and movies,
You
when
can
I'm
see it.
watching someone and they have an accent, I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Like, it just you have a fuller picture, but in the books and just the harshness of the cuts, I
It, like,
agree.
freaks
It
you out.
just
Like,
it
"Damn, okay."
I was
Like,
like, especially with the brother. The brother with the
the
Scottish
brother.
accent was killing me.
I
Uh
remember there was a part where they were, like, getting spicy, and I'm like, "Wait, that's her brother." I'm like and I had to go and look, I'm like, "Oh, okay, we've somehow, like, switched." I'm like,
yeah,
"Got it. Cool."
but with that 5 stars for me, 2 stars for Peyton. We are going to jump into the spoiler section, which I'm very excited for because we're going to talk about in more detail why Peyton hated some of this and why I loved it, which is super fun. If you have not read the book yet, though, please like and subscribe at this point. If you like, it helps let YouTube push this out to other people to see our reviews, helps us out a ton, and is free. But with that, we are going to jump in.
Alrighty, so general thoughts. What are you thinking?
Well, I want to know because usually I'm the hater in our reviews.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
the
it feels
angrier
weird.
one. What it was your biggest like this icked me out, this irked me. Like I want to kind of give you the moment to pretend you're me and give us a rant.
It's really hard because this kind of felt like I've read this book so fast that it kind of feels like
Mhm.
a whirlwind of like, yeah, it kind of felt like the same thing over and over again. This is the this is the thing that I think really grinded my gears. I'm in
Mhm.
the group that like I don't fucking okay. If you want to make it seem okay that you're in an age gap relationship, stop bringing it up. Like, stop making it weird for everyone because by you bringing it up and making it her problem, it makes it weird then. Just be like, age is just a number, baby. Let's get it. Like, I don't understand why we have to keep talking about it. All right. Second thing,
Mhm.
when it comes to Connor, I like Connor as Connor. And I love Christian Grey. Like, I love that sort of like, I'm hard. I've been through trauma, blah, blah, blah. Even though we don't really get into his trauma, we just kind of like graze over and understand that like his family and he has stupid siblings. But like, other
Yeah.
than that, it's not like this like crazy thing, other than him just like having trouble losing control. But when it comes to his relationship with Maya, I feel two different ways about this.
Okay.
Their past relationship, which we'll get to with these flashbacks,
Mhm.
I would say 4 to 5 stars. These flashbacks, love.
All
Present
right.
day, he infantizes her constantly and makes her smaller than who she is. And then has her, for instance, one time he said something like, she was like, does this make us boyfriend and girlfriend? He goes, if that's what you want. What? If someone said that to me, I would literally smack them across the face. He like wants the control and gives it to her. Oh, he wants the control and controls her. And then right when it's about to be like official or they make a decision, he's like, well, I don't know. What do you want? And oh my God, I hate when people do that in my real life. And when my fiance is, it's like what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want? It's like, okay, like
Yeah.
we are done. But yeah, but the infantizing her, it just kind of felt like it made her seem small. And also I felt like her self-worth kind of was like, well, I'm just a 23-year-old. What do I know? That's fine in the beginning of the book. But when we're getting towards the end of the book and you're still having those thoughts, I don't know where the growth is here and what the direction is. But as far as the spiciness in the flashback scenes,
Mhm.
I have a qualm with the present ones too. But the flashback scenes, oh my gosh, I love them. I loved them.
Wait, the spicy flashback scenes or just the okay, so you liked it when she just kind of like grinded on his knee.
First of all, I liked how he came to the other side of the world to like, guys,
Yeah,
I'm not a
okay.
spicy girl in the way of like, oh, let me tell you my favorite sex scene. I'm like, what did this man do to prove his
So
love and how he
you like
cared?
the romance of the flashbacks.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, because you said the spicy scenes, and I was like,
What spicy
that
scene?
scene felt so intimate and was the only like spice scene of the flashbacks. And I was like, wow, really, Peyton, you're picking that one up. No, that makes sense. Yes. Him flying out to her and like immediately he was like, oh, I'm your boyfriend to make the ex-boyfriend jealous.
So hot.
Hot. Hot.
I
And then
loved
he
it.
like spent the night. What is funny though is that he did choose to fly out there without knowing what she looked like. Like, I want to know, did he make the plan to make it boyfriend when he saw her? Or like on the plane ride over just by like
Yeah,
her
like,
voice.
was he looking at her Instagram? Like, what?
Oh, yes, because he was looking at all of the old photos that Eli had sent. He had
Okay.
searched her name in the group chat. Oh, yeah, because she was like, "You stalked me on Instagram," and he's like, "I do not have an Instagram."
It was so funny. Yeah, he's like, "Before I charter a jet to go over there, let me see if this bitch is ugly or not."
Let me see if this is worth it or not.
But in the land of make believe, which is this book,
Mhm. Yeah,
it's very cute and endearing and, like, not super creepy. That I don't know, I like that kinda
I
stuff. I
do
think
too.
it's really romantic, so I was, like, into that.
And then all of their phone conversations, I really loved, and, like, the one that stands out to me is when they were talking about love to one another, and then they were talking another time. They had seen each other in person because his ex had the baby,
Mhm.
and they went, and, like, that idea of which the baby conversation will come back around, but the idea of, like, him seeing her hold the baby and, like, being like, "Oh my gosh," and then they're messaging each other, and they're, like, still pretending this entire time like they don't have feelings for one another, this
Yeah.
extended 2-year period, and they're like, "Well, would you want children? Would you want children?" Like, I thought that was so cute.
Yeah, the for I just remembered she was like, "Yeah, but I was 20 back then." Like, I was yeah, you were 20, you should be thinking about that. Like, you should be in college, living your life. Like, I don't I don't know,
Well,
like
I think by the time the baby was born, she was probably at least 21,
yeah.
because the baby's still a diaper baby at 23.
Yeah, that's true, and she's pregnant again. But there was a point, and I wish I would've highlighted it, where she was like he was like, "Yeah, but you were 20 back then." She goes, "Well, I'm 23 now." It's like, it's not that much better, like, 3 years it's not like there was a time where, she ended the chapter and she was like, "And then we didn't speak for 10 months." And I
Yeah.
was like I read that as 10 years, and I was like, "Damn, we gotta jump." And I was like, "This is awesome." Like, this reconnection of, like,
Mhm.
people he's been with people, she's been and I'm like, "What did I miss?" And then I read it again, I'm like, "Oh, fucking months." Like, this is so fresh and new. Like, this is this just happened. Like, this is new.
I do think, like, the whole Avery thing was unnecessary in
So
the
unnecessary.
beginning. Like, my critique would be it felt like it took a while to get into the book in terms of, like, percentage of the book, but the book's so short that, like,
Mhm.
I don't know, I got there quick enough, but because on the flight, she's like, "Oh, I don't wanna be near A" we're at the airport. She's like, "I don't wanna be near Avery. I don't wanna have to, like, be talking to his ex, da 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 da," or was acting like they were actually together, and they immediately, like, weren't together. That means that Connor broke up with her 10 months ago for Avery. Then him and Avery broke up, spent enough time as friends to for whatever reason, for Avery to come, like, be in the wedding party,
Which is weird.
which and maybe it's just because we didn't read the original book. I don't think that not having read Not in Love affected
Mhm.
my experience that often, but the
Yeah.
only thing I would say is perhaps Not in Love explains better why like, Rue's connection to Avery. Like, I understood why everyone else in the wedding party was there.
Yeah, and, like, just, like, their friend kind of vibe like, for, like, their
Dynamic.
friend group vibe and, like,
Mhm.
how that kinda operates 'cause everyone's so different.
I didn't find the repetition of bringing up the age gap annoying, or at least Connor's persistence against it, because I feel like it did relate directly to his, like, flaw/backstory, and I feel like we just missed at the end him hitting it harder on the nail because I felt like I had to infer it as a reader, and not in, like, an intense way, like, this isn't, like, a deep analysis that you have to do
Yeah,
to get there,
you
but
can't. It's a
he
romance book.
very much was refusing to be with her because she was younger, but not because of, like, it's problematic, like, he has the big quote of, like, "I kept moving the goalpost," for what that is, and it's all because of his daddy issues. The
Mhm.
reason he didn't wanna be with her is because he saw the billionaires of his life, this, like, attack against capitalism messaging going on there. He's like, I don't want to be another one of those billionaires with a young girlfriend. I don't want the world to perceive me the way they perceive my dad. And I feel like if he had more explicitly said that sentence instead of just the I kept moving the goalpost sentence, more people would be okay with the reason that he kept being like, no, I can't be with you because you're young. Because that was there, and I just wish he would have like said it.
Yeah. I think with his like trauma and stuff like that, I did like the part of the book where she was talking with, I don't know how to say her name. My
Nota?
Minota. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Anyways, the other like
Oh, the ex.
the ex with the baby or whoever's like, oh, Connor wouldn't even tell me that stuff. Like when he
Yeah.
proposed to me, and she's like, oh, he's told me that stuff. Like I thought because he proposed to you, like you would know, and like she thought she was a safe place to talk to about Connor. And so like that to me, like I do love that sort of like plot line of like, oh, like he's confided in her, and like
Yeah.
basically anything that's like actually romantic is cool, I think. But as far as like honestly their personalities being together and how they have sex,
Mhm.
I like everything, like the hotel room scene where she
Yeah.
like knocks on his door,
Mhm.
everything leading up to her knocking on the door and them starting to kiss, great. Once we get into dirty talk, I'm like, ew, I hate men, especially when he's talking. I'm like, ugh, that's disgusting.
Okay, something that did ick me out was when they would be having sex and he kept being like, talking about his penis about, like and, like, being like, "Well, I can't be hard for that long," or, like, "I'm gonna come easily because, like, I'm an old man." I'm like, "How
Ew.
old are you?" Like, maybe this is us just being young 23-year-olds, but,
No,
like, I
no.
don't know, in my mind, Michael B. Jordan is not having those problems. Like, he was acting like he was, like, a 70-year-old man instead of, like, a
Right.
40-year-old guy, and I don't know how old Allie Hazelwood is, maybe that's, like, her life experience, and maybe that's everyone's life experience, and I'm just a young, dumb bitch, but I was like, "Are all men, like, already struggling that bad at 40?"
Yeah, he says he's
Like, he's not that old.
in this book, oh my god, in this chapter towards the end, like right towards the end of the book, I hate when people talk about birth control in fictional stories because it's like it doesn't exist. You either like it's either you getting knocked up as part of the plot, like I hate it.
Oh, yeah, because it's just contrived, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, were you serious about being on birth control? And I take his free hand
Oh,
with
no, no,
mine and
no,
lift it until he can feel the implant on my arm. What the fuck? That's so weird to write. Like that's such a
oh,
and then he
yes.
says, "Okay, shit, okay. Can I I'm skeptical of my ability to pull out." Ugh, what? No. No, don't say that. Like
Yes.
you should be like, "I have this dick that I have great pull out game." Like,
No, mentioning the patch, that's nasty, and I'm sorry if any of you guys listening do have the patch, but you are
no, the
fundamentally
implant.
incorrect. Yeah, yeah, the whatever on your arm, that's
Mhm.
nasty. I can't stand that. I had a friend, I had a coworker who had it, and it got, like, infected and shit. I don't know. I think it's gross. I think it's gross that you can see it, and the idea of, like, I know that books bring up, like, condoms or birth control as a way of, like, messaging to the people and being like, "Make sure you're practicing safe sex." Like, "We're practicing safe sex in our books. Consent is sexy," like, that kind of thing. But him feeling that, I did pause the audiobook, and Jacob's sitting right next to me. He's got headphones on. He does not wanna listen to this book. And I was like, "You can't believe what they just did." I was like, "It's so nasty." And then I had to explain to him what it was because he didn't know.
Yeah, and the I was driving with Robert, my fiance Robert, in the car, and I was reading their like sex scene, and
Mhm.
I was like, dude, I was like, this is the thing, and I do have a line we read, and I was like, and even Robert was like, oh, see, I like that. But then he just completely ruined it by saying this. They're talking about what their kinks are. And
Yeah.
then randomly he goes, I want to put a baby in you. Like you okay, hear me out. You guys like formed a relationship 10 months ago. You talked, he ditched
No,
you.
no, no. They formed a relationship 2 years ago.
Right.
they talked for a year and a half, and then he didn't talk to her for almost a year. Continue.
Yes, but still, like you guys haven't talked in a year. You're not official. Like there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden, this man who like you still don't know if he wants you or not is like, I want to put a baby in you. I want to get married to you. Like this girl's 23 years old. Like I don't know how I feel about someone being like, I want to put a baby in you. Like this older man being like, I want to put a baby in you. It's like, no, like it just feels icky. It feels so icky to me. And like he has like a pregnancy kink. And it's like, it's like, girl, I don't know. Like if I was married and I was like the
Mhm.
love of my life, or like we were together so long and like I don't know. There's that timeline,
Yeah.
but like they don't have a solid timeline. They have a fragmented timeline because even though they were talking, they weren't together. And she was still unsure if there were other women at that time too. And then all of
Well,
a sudden this
yeah.
man is like, I want to put a baby in you. And then he's talking about how he can't pull out. I'm like, yeah, he's probably gonna put a baby in you.
All I can say is some of us have been there before.
It's like, Jesus, no.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah, I liked it. But here's the thing is that I did get engaged at 18. I was married at 21. I, maybe just life different
Like if
different likes
I
and
was
dislikes.
told that with my partner now, I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go. But I'm like, in this scenario, I'm like, he's already playing from my perspective and how I
Mhm.
feel like he's already kind of playing with her head already. And then
Yeah.
saying that to her is confusing. So much that he apologizes for it. He apologizes for it in the next
Yeah.
chapter. But then she's like, what's your fantasy? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you in the kitchen when I come home
Mhm.
cooking me a nice meal or whatever.
The
Like
thing is
he's saying that she's his home. But I'm like,
yeah.
no, stop.
I think part of this book is you either buy in that
Yeah.
he is the definition of down, bad, pining, longing. All he wants is her. All he can think about is her. Like he's in love with her as much as more than she's in love with him. But he's just holding back because of his like Bridgerton-esque daddy issues.
Mhm.
Or it's how you feel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just so bought into his, like, love and pining for her, and to me, when I was reading it, I was just like, "No, like, Maya understands and has understood since that hotel room that he is, like, into her, that he does have those same feelings back." And so I resonated more with she was when she walked away from the sex scene, she was mad because he was still self-torturing himself to the point where it was hurting her, and he
Yeah.
was doing it in the name of protection.
Oh, yeah. That
And
that that was such a quick scene.
that's his shitty thing in my mind.
I called that the Maya rambling scene because all of a sudden they were having sex and she just asked him a simple question and he gave an answer and she was like, "You know what? You never give away control." And I was like, "Damn, like you are showing your age right now." I was like, "Girl, you need to walk out that door and take 5." I was like,
Well, she was
"Seriously."
right.
I was on Connor's side on that moment. Like, you need to chill. Like, you need
No,
to
he
chill.
knew he was in the wrong.
And also, she had to, even after that, reassure him that the guy in the bar was just like a joke. Like, it wasn't real. Like, this guy has so many, like, insecurities as a 38-year-old. You didn't figure them out yet? Like, that is a walking red flag. If you are meeting a 38-year-old who's still working on that, it makes sense why he's not married yet because he is emotionally immature. So maybe that works. And that's why I think it works with Maya because
Mhm.
she has that emotional intelligence. But, like,
Damn.
damn.
And speaking of, as we wrap up here, the guy in the bar, we
Oh, yeah.
all are under the same page that was Lucas from Deep End. And the thing that tripped me up is going into the book, I knew that Lucas was going to make a cameo, but then she calls him the German guy, and I
Oh,
paused
yeah,
the
he's like, "I'm
book
not
and
German."
I said, "Are German and Swedish accents similar?" I
They
was like
are. They
I
can
was
be
like
perceived as that, yeah.
and then I was like, "Are they under the same?" Because I am not a good geography person. I was like, "You know how, like, England and Wales and, like, like, everything's in the UK?" I was like, "Is there a big umbrella like that?" I was like, Is German Swedish? Like, is this connected somehow?" And it was just because she was like, Ali Hazelwood made the thing of her being confused because
Yeah.
then she's texting Scarlett later and she's like, "German," and she's like, "He's not German."
He's not German, which is funny because Ali Hazelwood's German, so she probably you know what? That joke probably came from, like, her being like, "Oh, are you Swedish?" Or, like, something like that.
Mhm.
She's like, "No, I'm German." I think that
Yeah.
they're kind of, like, deeper toned languages, like, they kinda come from, like, the back of
Okay.
the throat, and so I think that's why the language is completely different.
I thought she was just doing like a red herring, so you wouldn't think that it's a cameo until later.
I think so too, because like, I
But
was
then he said,
confused
like,
by
"My
it.
girlfriend Scarlett," and I was just like, "Okay."
Damn, like, yeah.
Like,
That was
it
the other
has
thing.
to be. It has to be.
I have a feeling, and these are probably my closing thoughts,
Okay.
is Eli and Rue, every time they were in, I was like, "Yes, give me more of this." So, the summary here is that I should just read book 1, and
Yes.
probably I will love it, because I love Eli's character. I
Mhm.
freaking love Rue's character. I love
Well, I
everything about
love
it.
the voice for her. The,
Yes.
like, flat, almost monotone voice. I was like, "Yes, speak sexy to me."
She's sure of herself, she knows what she wants, and, like, he's kinda like, "Yeah, I'm with her," like,
Mhm.
heck yeah. But when they're getting married,
Yeah.
he says in their vows or whatever, he says, "Until the day we both die in our sleep, surrounded by our immortal dogs and millions of plants." Maybe, like, I related to them, like, I felt like, "Oh, that's like Robert and I," like, that's totally
Yeah.
something I would say to him and is very true.
You're like, "I'm taking that, actually, new
Actually,
edition."
I'm using that, and then when they get married, and everyone's like, "We flew here because and you just got married," like,
And they're like, "We
whatever.
don't care."
I love when he goes, "With all due respect, y'all may fuck yourselves." I was like, "Yes!" I was like, "That is the energy that I'm looking for." Like that, like,
Yes.
I know what I want, we're gonna do it, and so I was obsessed with that. Those are my
I love
closing
that.
thoughts. Loved Eli and Rue. They were the 2 stars in the book for me.
So maybe we're reading Not in Love next, guys.
Maybe I need to
My closing thoughts is I did love, Noita, the sister friend that, Maya had a close relationship. I thought she was so funny and hilarious, and I cannot wait for her book. Let's keep this series going. I want book 3 with Noita. I want her to fall in love. I wanna be in her head. I think she's so funny. And also, we, for our Fearless video, took notes as we were reading the book, and we had, like, all these extra thoughts and stuff to share, and we haven't really done that since, but when I got to the bar scene where she is purposely making him she's trying to make him jealous, to make him admit to everyone, to herself, to himself, whatever, that he is in fact, like, infatuated with her,
Mhm.
and she was like, "The offer still stands." I was like, "This is the hottest you've ever been, Maya. This is the hottest scene in the book." Like, I
Yes.
loved her energy in that moment of being like, "Listen, I'm into you, you know it. You're into me, we both know it. You're just dealing with your issues and refusing to admit it, but you don't get to control me. So, I wanna have sex tonight. And it can be with this guy at the bar, or if you have a problem with it, do something about it. Like, the ball's
Mhm.
in your court, but, like, I'm not gonna sit around and wait around, even though she does. But, like, that encounter, I was like, "Yes, queen."
Yeah, I loved the bar scene. That was like, "Okay, I can get with this." And all the way through the book up to that point, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is a cool book, probably gonna be like a 3, 4 star for me." And it went downhill from there. When they got closer, it got worse. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the closer they got to getting the fucking, it was like getting worse. But I also have a very like particular taste in romance.
Mhm.
So, you know, I was looking through the reviews because I'm like, am I crazy? And there are mixed reviews. So we
I
are,
actually yes. I didn't see a lot of middle of the line. I saw a lot of, like, exactly how you feel or exactly how I feel
yeah,
and no in between.
I'm so happy we can offer everyone both sides. This is an episode like when we did the Night and the Moth. We're like, if you don't like this book, this is not the video for you because we
Yes.
love this book. If you watch this video and you liked it, you got to decide, and if you hated it, you're welcome. So thank you, guys, for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. It helps out more than you know. Give this a big like. Turn on notifications so when we post, you'll get notified.
Thank you so much for joining us, and happy reading.